She looked me in the eye and said, "My male best friend is more important than you." So I asked for my $10,000 back. She begged me to stay, but I walked away, and karma destroyed everything she had. I am 28, and for a little more than 2 years, I was in a relationship with my girlfriend who was 27. On the surface, to everyone else looking in from the outside, our relationship appeared steady and solid. We lived close to each other, we spent nearly every weekend together, and I made sure that whenever she needed someone, I was always there. Whether it was talking with her for hours in the middle of the night when she felt stressed, helping her navigate complicated issues with her family, or offering financial support when times got rough, I was always ready to step in. Deep down, I thought my efforts meant something. I believed that the support I gave her showed I was serious about a future with her, that she could rely on me, that I was truly her partner. That was the picture I painted in my mind, and for a long time, I held on to that belief. But reality rarely matches the illusions we build. The foundation I thought we shared was not as strong as I imagined. In fact, the first real cracks appeared because of one person, her so-called male best friend. I had heard about him long before I met him. She often spoke of him in casual conversation, explaining how they had known each other for years, how he felt like family to her, and how he just understood her better than anyone else. At first, I brushed it off. I wasn't the jealous type, and if this guy meant so much to her, then I believed the best thing I could do was be polite and at least try to build a cordial relationship. In my head, I thought, if he's important to her, then I'll try to respect that. That chance finally came one evening at a coffee shop. It was me, her, and him sitting together at a small table. From the very beginning, I could sense something off in his attitude. He barely greeted me, giving only a half-hearted nod before turning his full attention to her, as though I didn't exist. Throughout the conversation, he made subtle jabs at me that slowly grew more obvious and cutting. He interrupted me whenever I tried to speak. He made jokes at my expense, and some of his remarks were outright insults hidden behind a thin veil of humor. It wasn't banter between friends. It was clear disrespect, and the intent behind his words couldn't be missed. What hurt even more wasn't just his behavior. It was hers. She laughed at some of his comments, brushed off the rest, and continued talking with him as if I wasn't even sitting beside her. Inside, my chest tightened with frustration, though I kept my face composed. It wasn't that I couldn't handle a joke or didn't know how to take teasing. It was the fact that the woman I loved, the woman I considered my partner, allowed someone else to belittle me without stepping in to defend me. When we finally left that night, she acted like nothing at all had happened. She held my hand, smiled, and chatted casually about her day. Meanwhile, my thoughts were in chaos. The car ride home was heavy with silence, but it wasn't the comfortable kind. It was the silence that screams that something is wrong, even when neither person dares to say it. I tried to convince myself that maybe I was overthinking. Maybe she truly didn't notice the way he treated me. But the more I replayed the evening in my mind, the more I realized that the issue wasn't just his words. It was her indifference. Eventually, I knew I couldn't just push it aside. If I did, I'd be sending the message that it was acceptable for someone to disrespect me while the person I loved watched silently. And that was something I couldn't live with. So, a few days later, when we were sitting together at her apartment with no distractions, I brought it up. My voice was calm, but my heart was heavy. "Listen," I said, "I need to talk to you about the other night. The way your friend treated me really bothered me. He talked down to me, interrupted me, and honestly made me feel invisible. I thought you'd step in at some point, but you didn't." She looked at me like I was speaking another language. With a dismissive sigh, she replied, "You're overreacting. That's just how he is. He jokes around a lot. You shouldn't take it so seriously." I tried to explain again, patiently, that it wasn't just joking around. It was disrespect. I told her I wasn't asking her to cut him out of her life, but at the very least, I expected her to acknowledge that he had crossed a line and to stand with me. That's when she said the words that would forever change the way I saw her. "Don't say anything to him. He's more important than you." I froze, convinced that I had misheard. More important than me? I repeated slowly, waiting for her to take it back or clarify. But she looked me straight in the eye, completely unbothered, and said, "Yeah, he's been in my life longer than you. He's like family. If you can't handle that, then maybe this isn't going to work." Her words hit harder than anything her friend had said. They cut straight into the core of our relationship. It wasn't just about a few insults anymore. It was about priorities. It was about where I stood in her life. And in that moment, the painful truth became clear. I wasn't her priority. I sat in silence, processing her words. Finally, I asked, "So, let me get this straight. You're saying that no matter how he treats me, I just have to put up with it because he's more important than me?" Without hesitation, she shrugged. "I don't believe he did anything wrong. You're just being sensitive. If you have a problem with it, maybe you should leave." That sentence crushed me. It wasn't just what she said. It was how easily she said it. As if tossing aside 2 years together was nothing. As if I was that easy to replace. Her indifference hurt more than anger ever could. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replayed her words over and over. And every time, the same thought echoed in my mind. If she truly cared, she wouldn't have said that. A partner is supposed to choose you above all. They're supposed to defend you when others cross the line. But she had made it crystal clear that she would never defend me against him. Something shifted inside me. The next few days, I still spent time with her, but my heart wasn't the same. I wasn't cold, but something fundamental had changed. I couldn't see her the same way anymore. You can forgive mistakes, misunderstandings, even arguments. But once someone shows you that you're not truly valued, it's almost impossible to go back. And then, just a few days later, the topic that would change everything finally came up, the $10,000 I had lent her. The days after that confrontation were heavy and silent. She tried to call me many times, sometimes crying, sometimes angry, sometimes begging, but I did not pick up. I could not let myself fall into that trap again because I knew if I listened, I might break and give her another chance, and she did not deserve it. I blocked her everywhere and decided to close that chapter completely. My friends told me they had seen her around, looking different, more worn out, as if she had finally realized that she lost something that could never return. But I did not care anymore, because I had already chosen peace over chaos. Weeks later, she showed up at my apartment, standing outside the door for hours, leaving notes that said she wanted to talk, that she regretted everything, that she had made a mistake. I read those notes once, then tore them up. She had made her choice when she laughed at me and chose another man behind my back. I did not owe her anything now. The truth was, I did not even feel anger anymore. It was just emptiness at first, and then slowly that emptiness turned into strength. Every time she tried to come back, I felt more certain that walking away had been the best decision of my life. It was strange how life worked. Just when I thought I was broken beyond repair, I started to heal by focusing on myself. I went to the gym, I worked harder at my job, and I spent more time with people who actually cared about me. And the more I did that, the more I realized how much I had settled for less in that relationship. She wanted to test my love, but all she really did was prove that she never deserved it in the first place. Months later, a friend showed me her social media. She was alone. That man she chose over me had left her too. She was posting sad quotes, talking about regret, and dropping hints as if she wanted sympathy. But by then, I had completely moved on. I did not even feel pity for her. I felt free. And for the first time in a long time, I could look at myself in the mirror and feel proud that I did not bend, I did not break, and I did not stay where I wasn't valued. So yes, she tried to play a game with me, pretending a breakup was just a test to see who would miss who first. But that little game ended up costing her everything. And it gave me the greatest gift of all. My freedom, my strength, and a new beginning without her. I realized something important. Love is never supposed to be a test. It is supposed to be trust. The moment she asked me to pretend we broke up, she already showed that she did not truly value what we had. And when I found her on Tinder just 2 days later, it was clear that she never loved me the way I loved her. That truth hurt at first, but it also opened my eyes. I understood that losing someone like her was not really a loss. It was a lesson. She thought she was being clever, playing a game to see who would miss who first. But she did not expect that I would choose self-respect over her empty words. She thought I would come back running, begging for her love. But instead I packed her bags, shut the door, and moved forward with my life. And that was the strongest choice I ever made. Even today, when I look back, I do not feel sadness or anger. I feel relief, because walking away from her was the first step toward finding my true worth. She lost me, and that was her biggest mistake. I did not lose anything. I gained my freedom, my peace, and the chance to build a life where love would be real, not a game. So if you ask me who won in the end, the answer is simple. She played herself and I walked away stronger.